Hey, it's Aaron, Metal Theologian. So I got a few EPs we're going to talk about today, I think. I say I think, like, I'm going to solicit input while I record this or something as if I were streaming, but what the fuck. Anyway, right now we're listening to this gem. And this is a fucking fantastic record, man. I don't know how expensive it is these days, but it used to be snoozed enough on, or sufficiently snoozed upon. You can get this one pretty cheap, too. But this is, fucking Torture. Terror Kingdom. And there's a band from, I'm pretty sure, Texas, but like this record came out on this Mexican label called Beta Records. But like, it's not like trying to find like some of the really like, it's not like you're trying to find a Mexican Renaissance record or something like that. This is last time I checked, I should say. It's been a while, but anyway, it's so fucking meaty and rough. And listen to that shit, man. It's so intense. This is power metal, man. What an aptly titled song, man. You got fucking whips of the Antichrist. It's so good. Yeah. So anyway, man, this is a fucking gem. It's like, when I think of, recorded in Las Cruces, actually. So Thumpfinger's neck of the woods. Thumpfinger actually helped me out. I gotta shout him out a little bit, because, I was trying to figure out how to make, buche. Like tacos de buche, like the pork stomachs. And, I couldn't find, I looked on YouTube and shit. I was like, there's gotta be something. There are lots of recipes, man, but they're all in Spanish. And my Spanish really kind of sucks, meaning I don't speak Spanish. I can pick out a few words, basically, And I even looked online, and there was a fucking, obviously YouTube's online, but, like, I looked for recipes, too. And, I found a few recipes, like a whole bunch of links, but they all link back to the same fucking recipe. There's one recipe, and it just involved stewing the stomach, like, until it becomes tender. And, like, the right way to do it is, like, you stew it, and then you fry it up, so it's fucking... So I was pretty happy with how the tacos came out. And Thumpfinger, he asked his Tio for me, man. So I gotta, like, shout him out for that shit. Because, my belly's full of, Taco Tuesday goodness. And, I'm stoked. So, there's my little shout out. I also got a soda I'm really excited about. Actually, I went to the market to get the buche. Because, I can't just get that at the Harris Teeter usually. I found this fucking soda I've never seen before. Look at how fucking big this thing is, by the way. It's like a half liter, like a German beer. But this is a fucking... I've never heard of it. Tropical or Tropical, maybe. I don't know. But it's a banana soda with 0% juice. So we're going to try this shit out, man. I don't think I've ever had a banana soda before. And, I've had a soda or two in my time, so... Cheers, man. I'm really hoping this tastes like that artificial banana shit, because that's just the fucking bomb. Dude, it's fucking perfect. If you like banana Laffy Taffy, man, cheers. Cheers to you, motherfucker. And the Hondurans salute you. Seeing how it's a product of Honduras at all. Because that's exactly what this fucking tastes like, and that's exactly what I wanted, man. Fucking... Yeah, I don't even know what to say, man. So... Little fun fact about artificial banana flavor. You know how it has like that sort of sweet, like kind of weird taste? Yeah, and it doesn't really taste like banana. And you kind of go, yeah, I can sort of recognize that there's like sort of a familial type of similarity to banana, but it doesn't taste like a banana. Apparently, like back in the 50s or whatever, when they invented that like artificial banana flavor, the species of banana that they were modeling it on, like, doesn't really exist anymore. Like, it isn't quite extinct, but it's close enough that you can't really get them. Like, there's some sort of, like, huge banana plague or something, like in the 70s or something like that. And, I might be wrong with some of the details here. But there's some sort of, like, banana plague or something that killed off all the fucking bananas, and they basically reseeded with a different, like, variety of banana. And that's, like, the bananas that we have today. I think they're called Cavendish bananas, but I could be wrong. That could be the old ones, too. Anyway, fuck it. I don't know what they're called, but... Apparently, if you go to the store and you get some bananas, those bananas are different from the bananas that this artificial shit is based on. And that's why these things taste so fucking weird. It isn't just that, like, whoever invented these was a fucking psychopath. Not that that wouldn't be a good story, too. Meaty, man. Hey, so before I forget, too, I got a request, okay? So I've kind of alluded to this, but I've been completely obsessed with Blue Oyster Cult lately, to the point where it's been hard to make videos because I've been listening, I mean, I work from home, right? I've been listening to like 5 Blue Oyster Cult records on an easy day, and I'm not even exaggerating, man. I've been sitting here listening to them all day long. It's been like, I listen to Blue Oyster Cult all day, and then like I listen to some metal, usually some EPs in the evening, just sort of like clear my palate a little bit. I'm going to be talking about the palate clearing stuff, and I kind of want to do a video eventually just to sort of like, you know, talk about like what I've digested, like this shit, you know, so do like an album ranking or something like that. I haven't completely decided. But dude, I can't find a copy of Imaginos, and it's pissing me off because I'm seeing these fucking things online and people asking like $40, and I don't know how many fucking copies of this record I saw in dollar bins. So I'm not asking for VCLT, okay, because that's not how I roll. I think that's kind of a gauche thing to do, frankly. But if you have a copy of Imaginos that you don't need, on record, obviously, I'd really like to take it off your hands. So just like, if you like hit me up or something, like let me know and like we can make a deal on it or something. I mean, I don't know if I have anything to trade that you might want, but or I'll buy it off you or something. Because it's really starting to like, it's, you know, if I knew it were a great record, I would spend $40-50 on it, whatever, you know what I mean? But like, I've never really heard, like, the best things I've ever heard about have been like, in spite of its shortcomings, you know what I mean? ... So, you know, it's just hard to like butt up for a record that is not going to be up to like what I'm looking for, you know what I mean? It's just sort of like a completion thing, and I'm so into the band that I actually really kind of want that now. So you can tell by how I'm talking about it's fucking eating at me, right? If you're watching this, you probably collect, and if you collect, then you get it, you know? This shit is great. It's really sweet. Like, by the end of it, I might decide I hate it because it's just too much. But I'm telling you, man, I'm digging this shit out of this fucking banana soda. And, like, it's rare to have a soda that's just like a brand new soda experience. But I really don't think I've ever had a banana one before. Alright, so let's see what else I've got here. Alright. So, I talked about that Swedish magic kind of a lot. Maybe over-discussed it in the last video a little bit. This record kind of has it. Like, it definitely has it in that it's really good. But this is the Parasite record. It's an EP, 5 songs, one of which is an intro. And they kind of look like, you know, dorky-looking 80s Swedes. But this record is so fucking full of charm, man. It's like tuneful and kind of awesome, and how can you argue with that cover? It's not like, well, I'll show you what it's not like in a second, because there's another one here that I like a lot more. But it's a really cool record. You know something, this is on the Sword label. If you like the band Torch, who was also had an LP out on Sword at least, it might have been a couple things, I don't remember right now, I have to look. But if you like Sword, you're going to like this just fine, man. This is Parasite. That's just a really cool record, man. It's Swedish. It's not like super Swedish, you know what I mean? It's like a cool, like, heavy metal record with, like, a dose of Sweden in it, you know what I mean? It's not like brimming over with Swedish magic like Heavy Load, but if you like that shit, you're going to like this just fine, too. But as far as Swedish ones, man, this is the one that really kind of blew my mind, okay? And I'll tell you something, man. If there's one thing that can match getting a great record in the mail, it's finding one in your own fucking stacks that you kind of forgot about. This is the Metal Mercy record, and I'll put on a piece of this in a minute, too. There's like 89, and it's an EP, and it comes in one of these kind of cheapo covers. Shout out to Scott Waters for the idea of just like, when you get with one of these shitty-ass flimsy covers, like you just put a plain one in there and you can preserve your thing and it doesn't get fucked up because you're taking the record in and out or whatever else. Look at that. Even though there's only this tiny hint of a mustache on the back of the record, this fucking thing, you know what this record really reminds me of? It kind of reminds me, as far as the vibe now, okay, of Candlemass. It doesn't sound like Candlemass, okay, but it has sort of that, like, kind of tragic, I use the word lugubrious too much. I usually use it when I'm being a little bit sarcastic, so I don't want to use it now, but, like, it's, there's just like this sort of drama to it, this sort of pathos that is just awesome. It's funny. It's almost like the polar opposite of this, except it's not as far as the heaviness level. It's really good. Now, again, I'm not saying it sounds like Candlemass, but it kind of vibes out in a way. Like, it gives me more of a sort of a Candlemass feeling than like the Mercy records. You know what I mean? Which are the ones that people kind of tend to go for when they, like, have all the Candlemass records and need more. I know that's what I did anyway. And, you know, I like those Mercy records, but they're not fucking Candlemass, you know? So we're going to listen to a little bit of Metal Mercy here. That's when I'm comparing them to a band called Mercy. I didn't even notice that until just now. Goes to show how they fucking... Yeah, I'm actually going to start it on side 2. With the title track, The Unborn Child, but the whole fucking thing is just really good, man. Plays at 45, unlike most of these guys, it seems. Although I seem to have a disproportionate number here. It's funny, when I kind of started collecting these EPs, it weirded me out how many of them played at 33, because I just assumed a 12-inch played at 45, and that's the way of the world, and it's kind of a minority thing, I think, you know what I mean? Probably, at least from the American bands, most of the 12-inch ones that I have, like these 4-track EPs that I geek out over in fucking 3/4 of my fucking videos. Yeah, they usually play at 33. Another thing about this record, it's 89, which is really kind of late for a record that sounds like this. It sounds like they had listened to some thrash and taken it in and sort of assimilated into their own sound, but not become a thrash band themselves, too. I'll be curious if y'all hear that, too. Yeah, look at that, man. If there's one thing that would have kept me away from this band, it's their fucking name, because I'll tell you, they do pretty much everything else right. Got Boogie Igifors on Laughs and Noises, which might have been noises, but it might just be that they listen to this record and you go, noise. It's a dad joke for you. See what I mean about the tone? Like, clearly this is faster than Candlemass. It's not as bottom heavy. It kind of has more of a trebly, like, sort of like a little bit of a thrash thing going on with it, too. But it's slow, you know? And it doesn't get, like, thrashy at all, you know? It speeds up a little bit here and there, but it's not like a fast record, you know? Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll let it run. Here's another one that's pretty cool. Is the Quest EP. This is another American band. I'm pretty sure, actually. I don't know where these guys are from now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, Soundplex Creations in Jonesboro, Arkansas. Well, I'll tell you something, man. That kind of makes me like them a little bit more, but honestly, this record's a little bit forgettable. And given how effort you might have to go to find a copy of this thing, listen to it online first, I'd say. You know what I mean? But look at that fucking guy, man. Man, look at all of them. You know, it's so honest. They're going for it. Imagine these guys hanging out in fucking Arkansas in the 80s, like, looking like that, you know? Like, that look, though, is probably a little bit more of an indication as to what it sounds like in that cover. Because even though this would be kind of a stretch to call this like a party metal record, let alone like a glam record, You know, the songs We're Rockin' and Broken Memories and Love Driver and then Final Ride kind of give you a little idea of what they were after. You know what I mean? It kind of sounds more like Love Driver and We're Rockin' than like a Sword and Logo kind of band. You know what I'm saying? I suppose on that front you might compare it to like the Forgotten Child record or something like that. It's a cool piece, but it's more cool than it is good, I guess is what I'm trying to say, you know? And here's another one like that, actually, too. I kind of go back and forth on this record. Every so often I put this one on, and it really grabs me. But I've listened to this maybe 3 or 4 times over the last, like, 6 weeks or so that I've had it sitting out here, sort of waiting for it to hit me the way it's hit me before. And it hasn't really done it, man. Instead, I kind of hear Neck-Breaking Woman, and I kind of think, you're kind of a fucking moron, dude, you know? But I don't want to shit all over this record either, you know what I mean? Because there's a lot to like here, you know what I mean? Especially if you kind of like, sort of like, you know, the, well, I mean, honestly, the kind of like the glammy style writing, but with the heavy delivery, you know what I mean? These guys don't bring it the way like a band like Leather Nun or like Mistress does, but, I think that's the intent, you know what I mean? I could just be wrong, and it could be, I'm just fucking don't understand these guys at all, but that's sort of what it could be, Disciple. Sounds like a Christian band too, doesn't it? Disciple, but I don't think they are. I don't see any reason to believe so based on like, you know, the titles or, you know, conspicuously thanking God on the thing, you know. So, it's a funny name, but... Speaking of which, this one's gotten a couple plays. This is my reissue of it. The original's on the shelf, but this is, but I've shown that I don't know how many fucking times already anyway, right? And this is, still one of my all-time favorite records right here. Such a classic. If you don't have this record, you're missing out, dude. And their EP is great, too. The one that came before this. Fucking Final Warning by Messiah. There's so much... There are like 10 reasons you could shit on this record. But this record just fucking transcends all of them. You know what I mean? Starting with that cover. You know, in a way, that cover tells you exactly what you're in for. Because, like, it's kind of shitty, but it's really awesome. You know what I mean? And its awesomeness, like, kind of overshadows the shittiness. That's kind of how the whole thing is, you know what I mean? It's like even the corny songs, like The Choice, which is my favorite song on the record, or like Heavenly Metal. It's almost like they set out to like write a corny song, but they couldn't do it. They like had to make it awesome. That's what this record feels like to me. You know what I mean? Like it was shitty in intent, but they just fucking delivered something that's just like, top 10 record, man. I'm not fucking kidding. Messiah, Final Warning. That's funny. If I didn't mention it, if this is 1984 and I didn't mention it in my 1984 video, then that was a big omission. But I might have. I don't remember what's on that list anymore. How are you doing for time? About 20 minutes in. Oh yeah, I knew there was at least one more I wanted to show here. So, you know, something I'm starting to think about talking about a little bit more. The Swedish Magic. I didn't make that up. I don't remember where I got that, but that Swedish Magic thing I got from somewhere. We're going to talk about the Italian magic here for a minute, man. The Italians, I don't know, man. Somehow, Italian bands always sound like biker bands. It doesn't fucking matter what style of music they're actually playing. They always sound like bikers. There's always this grit and this slop and this kind of... I don't know, I feel like I'm overusing the word shittiness, but, like, I mean it as a compliment, and I really fucking do. I mean, you know, I suppose you're not, you know, when I say I'm going to show EPs, if I showed a fucking Trooper 12-inch, you'd be a little disappointed now, wouldn't you? That's not because I don't have one over there. God knows, I've had that since I was, like, 16. Alright, so this is Unreal Terror from Italy, which plays at 33. And it's heavy. And it's dangerous. And like, I think that's a guy on the cover, but I'm not even quite sure what that's supposed to be, you know? I was even like looking to try and figure out. I mean, like that pretty much looks like it's supposed to be some kind of face, right? But I was wondering if maybe it was a guy on a motorcycle, you know, or something like that. Listen to this. There's a German word for that kind of like bashing sound, which usually you heard applied to thrash, but it's geknüppeli, you know what I mean? Like repent is a geknüppeli band. And I don't know, man. That's what this sounds like. It's kind of like bashed out. But look at that. Listen to that hook in there. Like, that's really charming, isn't it? You know? But that's the Italian thing, man. It fucking bashes it out there, you know? Yeah, this is one of those records that I like more and more the more I listen to it. Fucking Luciano Palermi. Technically not a great singer, but boy does he fucking deliver, man. Especially when he goes to the high notes, he kind of goes, Aah! It's awesome, man. Fucking balls out, you know? Silvio Canzano is my hero there on the drums, too. So, Silvio. Unreal Terror rules the night. Don't forget. Yeah, such an awesome fucking record. I think that's pretty much what I had to show. I mean, I'll fucking show a couple more here. There's another one I've played a few times lately, but I think everyone probably knows this record. First Hallows Eve, though, is such a classic. You know what I mean? Fucking noisy and rough and meaty. And that seemed actually, you know, I pulled out the Torture because it's sort of like this in vibe. I think the Torture might even be a little bit heavier, but this is probably better written. You know what I mean? Well, you know something, maybe not on second thought. These guys just had a little more backing. You know what I mean? Such a great back cover photo, man. I can't believe this is my second copy of this record. The first time I had this, I was like, yeah, that record's kind of crap, man. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, because I swear this is probably one of my top. This is probably my top 10 in the Metal Blade catalog. I wouldn't have to think about it so much if there weren't so many fucking Slayer records hogging up all the space in that top 10, you know? There we go. Yeah, and here's another one I've played a couple times too. This fucking for sort of my shitty fix, you know what I mean? Dorsal Atlantica. Although it's funny, because, you know, with this being a South American band at all, you'd expect it to be a lot more sort of shitty and rough than it is. But this record is definitely, from the production standpoint, kind of, you know, demo quality, if you know what I'm saying. But for a Brazilian record, it's really not as, like, rough and sort of harsh as a band like, you know, a Mystifier or something like that, you know. I'm not going to sit here and say that this is, you know, this sounds like the Final Countdown or anything like that. But, you know, I just noticed, too, that their drummer is named Hardcore. So, yeah. I think that's probably a good note to end it on, man. On a drummer named Hardcore. So, thanks for watching. If you've got Imagine Us, I appreciate the help, but no worries, man. We can be friends regardless, and I'll just sit here and gnash my fucking teeth until I find one for $5 somewhere in the wild, because I don't give a shit about condition. Fuck it, I'm gonna stop obsessing. See you next time, thanks.